The saddest episodes in Pokemon have brought so many tears into the environment that Nestle tried to bottle those too. Pokemon anime episodes have brought in an array of feelings, but those moments where we realize, oh, I can feel something again, was always one that became a cherished memory to remember. We talked about the top 5 most heartbreaking episodes in Pokemon before, which falls under the category of sad. It had the same effect, and was really just me titling it differently. But let's take all those other sad moments from the new anime episodes since then, as well as the ones you might have commented about saying they're missing from my last video, and put them into this video for a glistening top 10 of the saddest Pokemon episodes in all of Pokemon. Number 10. The story of how Ash got his Charmander was one that was quite sad. Charmander was there abandoned by his trainer, and sitting atop a rock holding a little leaf to protect its fiery tail from extinguishing due to the rain. Ash and friends tried to help Charmander, but even after taking it to the Pokemon Center due to how badly injured and starved it looked, it still went back. Charmander hoped its trainer Damien would come back for it, even enduring a horde of sparrows that attacked it menacingly. Luckily, Ash and pals didn't give up on Charmander like Damien did, and after a classic Team Rocket encounter, Charmander fought alongside Ash and chose to join his team. It even got revenge on Damien with some flamethrowers after he tried to threaten Charmander for choosing not to return. This is similar to Chimchar's story of Paul abandoning it, even hurting it, and then going with Ash to later get revenge by winning against Paul in a league battle. Both Chimchar and Charmander's stories are equally sad, and the episodes where they were shown to be hurt and left behind are equally as sad, and are why they're both being mentioned in number 10. Charmander's abandonment was also remade in the Pokemon movie I Choose You, where it was deemed too weak, abandoned, and told to stop following by his trainer, this time Cross. Number 9. Jessie and James's Weezing and Arbok were just as iconic of a duo as the two main antagonists of the Pokemon anime were. Seeing them being released was not only heartbreaking, but unexpected as it was just during the beginning of a new series. In the Advanced Generation series, Jessie and James are confronted by a poacher named Rico, who is caging and selling poison-type Pokemon to his clients. He even offers a deal for their Arbok and Weezing if they hand them over to him, which Jessie and James adamantly refuse. Their Arbok and Weezing end up finding a huge number of imprisoned Ekans and Coughing, and after having gone through so much, they try to free them. This leads to a number of battles that they cannot win against Rico, as he has a Tyranitar and a Fearow who are extremely powerful. The sad part comes during these fights as Jessie and James reluctantly and tearfully have to release their two signature partners to free and guard the young Ekans and Coughing. After seeing the bond these trainers had with Arbok and Weezing, and having to tearfully release them as the sad music plays with everyone crying, it tugged on the heartstrings of just every viewer. We were prepared for trouble, but not for this. It was incredibly unexpected, and what made it even sadder was that this was only the 6th episode in Hoenn. We were just getting used to the new adventure, and who expects to have Pokemon released near the beginning, let alone 2 Pokemon that you felt would be with them forever? Number 8. Go has some problems. Luckily this has a decent ending, but his first encounter with Scorbunny and the sad moments that it created were rather unfortunate to witness. The new anime has Go trying to catch all the Pokemon, and setting off to have Mew as his first. This leads to some sad moments as the Scorbunny that has been following Ash and Go and is seen by them many times, tries very hard to be brought onto Go's team. Ash even notices that Scorbunny is trying to get their attention and might want to join Go's team. But in his stubbornness and absolute desire to have Mew be the first one to take away his Pokeball virginity, he apologizes and rejects Scorbunny. Not only does he break Scorbunny's heart, but he also breaks our heart in the process. Scorbunny walks away as distraught as ever and has one of the saddest looks a Pokemon could give while walking away because it was rejected from an idea that someone has to have this specific Pokemon as the first Pokemon he owns. After defeating a Gigantamax Snorlax with Scorbunny's help, Scorbunny starts to walk away after Go thanks it. As Scorbunny is walking away, Go asks it to be his first Pokemon, fixing the mistake he made earlier on in this episode. Luckily it has a good ending, and Scorbunny even gets a little bit of revenge as a reboot and gives Go the cold shoulder. But sadly this episode did happen the way it did and showed one of the saddest scenes both in emotion and in reasoning of why a Pokemon could be turned away by a trainer. Number 7. Ash releasing his Pokemon has always broken the hearts of many Pokemon fans and is one of the many reasons the American Heart Association is still in business. One of the most mentioned series of the Pokemon anime is the time Ash would have won the league, but didn't. What was really sad about this wasn't the league loss, but the aftermath of Ash releasing one of the main Pokemon he bonded with so heavily, they created a new form for it called Ash Greninja. Personally I would have called it Greninja Ash, but it is what it is. In the XYZ series, Ash has to say goodbye to one of his most memorable partners that has one of the cleanest catches in the series. As Froakie, Tsundere flicks a ball over with his face to him to make sure Ash knows what's going on his team. During the episode, Facing the Needs of Many, Zygarde and Squishy ask Greninja to come with them to help destroy all the giant rock's remnants. Greninja accepts this request and goes through a sunset scene with Ash as they reconcile over all their flashbacks together and know it's the right thing to do. We all will miss Greninja and hope to see Greninja again someday to bond with Ash once more in its signature form, as it was one of Ash's best and most storied Pokemon throughout each region he's been through. And then he forgot about Greninja straight after. Number 6. Ash's first loss in the Pokemon League left many fans in disbelief or in a sheer distraught, unable to cope manner that very few episodes were able to recreate. This was before anyone knew Ash would likely lose in most leagues and not be the champion, but with the strong hope and the amount of following we did along Ash's journey, seeing him step for the first time into the Pokemon League brought us in with the hope that he would get to the end and see the full thing through to display his privilege of becoming the champion. Charizard put a stop to that. Battling against the friend Ash just made and having him stand there in a confused, even sad state for his friend as he sees Ash beg and plead for Charizard just to listen to him made a real tear-jerking moment. It made you feel exactly the same way Ash did when recalling Charizard, knowing there was nothing left for him to do. His head tilted down, choking on tears as he strongly displays the good trainer in him with his arm held confidently forward, recalling Charizard with his hat covering his eyes to hide the shame, hunched over. It really made you feel the same way. There was nothing he could do. You know when you're in your final promo game, you're 2-2, you just need one more win but all your teammates are Charizard? Same feeling. Maybe Ash could have known by taking into account Charizard's past behavior, but his Hail Mary to throw it out as the last Pokemon, seeing it battle just for a bit, and then going back to its disobedient ways really set us all up for a hopeful victory before taking it all away. It really was one of the saddest moments to experience live, and having to come to terms with the idea that Ash wasn't going to be the champion was hard for us all to swallow. We followed him along until he finally did it, but this was the start of many heartbreaking battles to come. Number 5. We talked about Ash releasing his Butterfree in the first list about sad episodes in Pokemon, so we won't be bringing it up here, but what about the time he almost released Pikachu? This is uncharted territory. What do you think you're doing, Ash? In the episode Pikachu's Goodbye, you can already tell the tension brewing as that's the title of this episode. Ash and his community find a lot of other Pikachu that have seemed to accept Ash's Pikachu as their own. Ash and the collection keep back from the Pikachu group as they're not used to human contact, but still, far away, Ash and his groupies see how happy Ash's Pikachu is as they sing and chant in their Pikachu ways. Ash has seemed to become sad throughout the episode, losing his appetite and saying the typical things you say when something is wrong, like nothing is wrong. He reflects on how happy Pikachu is and concludes, without asking us by the way, that Pikachu should be left with the other Pikachu. Ash leaves Pikachu, running away from him crying, talking about how Pikachu was his very first Pokemon, and even creates his own personalized AMV about their flashbacks together. Although we now know Pikachu comes back, the heart-wrenching feeling of thinking Pikachu will be gone forever made us sad as kids, even as adults, and probably led to some trust issues along the way. The overall episode and scene is just a sad one, but luckily Pikachu came running back with a happy ending curveball. Number 4. When Ash's journey came to an end after his Johto journeys, it was sad to find out Brock and Misty would be leaving him. As they stood there with the forks in the road and the different paths they would all take, the sadness started to build up as you realized they were in fact leaving. They all had to go on their different ways, and with the season also ending, it left a different feeling than usual. You knew this part of the adventure was over, but you didn't know how it would continue without Brock and Misty being there all the time. We grew attached to them, always being by Ash's side, and with an episode titled Gotta Catch You Later, you might have thought it was a little funnier. But unfortunately, the episode ends with us being unsure of who Ash will be going with to Hoenn. There was a bittersweet sorrow knowing Ash would be going on a different journey as Misty and Brock left Ash tokens of their friendship to carry along with him. You might have been used to Ash releasing Pokemon, but not people. Brock does end up going with Ash on his Hoenn journeys, and Misty eventually returns, but the wait to find that out still left us with a lot of time where they weren't there, hoping for their return. Number 3. While movies aren't an episode, Pokemon movies tend to try and tug on your heartstrings a little bit to give you a sense of accomplishment for watching it for over an hour. We have talked a lot about the deaths Ash has endured, and while I thought I mentioned the first movie in our last video, it turns out I didn't, so I'll have a small reference to that as well. While that is one of the most memorable deaths that was even recreated, the I Choose You movie does bring in some competition. If you're a bit older, Ash turning to stone could mean more to you, but if you're younger and this was one of your first experiences, then the I Choose You movie might have been the poster on your wall. While it isn't an episode, Pokemon I Choose You is its own episodic adventure that recreates the moments Ash had. You can see Charmander's sad story and Butterfree's release, which we've mentioned before, but the even more sad moment comes from Ash's death. He's there hugging Pikachu, taken out by the blast controlled by Marshadow, and even in his loving moments hearing Pikachu speak to him, he fades away into the afterlife. He is eventually brought back to life and seen running back to Pikachu, but the time where we see Pikachu so sad and blasting through the mountain with beams of electricity really made anyone who watched this feel something. There will always be competition over these moments, but the love Ash shows in any movie towards his Pokemon that he may be losing is always a sad time. Whether you're young or old, both of these movies filled us with the same feeling that each tried to convey depending on when you watch them. Number 2. One episode in Sun and Moon manages to bring such an empty feeling to anyone who watched it. Ash's Litten was friends with Stoutland and was as close to it as family could have been. Stoutland was old and unable to search for food by itself, so Litten had to go around gathering any food it could for this aging Stoutland. It even stole a large part of Ash's food to try and keep it healthy. The two lived together, but over time Stoutland was getting worse due to its age. They had a great bond, so seeing Stoutland pass away left us sad. The reason why this is one of the saddest episodes is that instead of your typical goodbye, Stoutland ends up disappearing and having everyone assume it passed away with the bleak scenes in this anime. This was one of your typical anime scenes with the grayed out look, the sad feeling everyone was giving off, the harsh rain, and even the nightmare Litten had before waking up to realize Stoutland disappeared. It's the type that leaves you with an empty feeling, knowing the worst was to come, but you weren't prepared for it. We didn't get to see Stoutland pass away, but when waiting a week for each new episode, being left on that, with a cloud in the shape of Stoutland smiling down, still left us with a sorrowful ending. We do get to see Stoutland as a ghost later on in the series, but unfortunately that wasn't the case for this next sad moment. Number 1. One of the saddest moments is in the anime series Pokémon Origin. It depicts the events from the original Red and Blue games and goes deeper into the lore, giving life to some of the sad moments in the series. In the episode Cubone, Red makes his way to the Pokemon Tower in Lavender Town after hearing there's a ghost haunting it. He learned about a Cubone that lost its mother at the hands of Team Rocket, and we get to see it rendered in an eerie yet sad light. This episode broke our hearts as Cubone starts crying while grabbing Mr. Fuji, and if that wasn't enough, Cubone has to say goodbye to the ghost of its mother Marowak as Marowak passes on to the other side. This scene is from your journeys in the games and recreated in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, as in no way was it this sad in the original games. Just seeing a Pokemon sadly having to say goodbye to a family member it knows it will never see again is saddening to say the least. Knowing she will never return or come back like Ash's friends, or the Pokemon he releases, doesn't even leave the hope to one day see someone again. With Stoutland, you get to see it again as a ghost after his passing, but this is the last moment for Marowak to be here as it already starts off as a ghost. Cubone is left distraught and saddened, just as we were watching this scene.